Government agencies are under constant pressure to deliver public services that the private sector typically cannot. At the same time, attracting and retaining and training specialized talent at government agencies remains a challenge, as is the need to modernize human resource management systems to support the government workforce. Here to discuss the latest trends in enterprise resource planning and HR management systems and their impact in supporting today's hybrid workforce are Ty Enmark, Principal for Federal Government Advisory Industry Leader at KPMG, and Campbell Webb, Senior Vice President of Platform Engineering at Workday. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And Ty, I'd like to start with you, and Campbell, I'll follow. What are you seeing as the key issues that large organizations, including federal agencies, are really facing when it comes to the use of enterprise resource planning and HR technology platforms to manage their human resources?
Thanks, Wyatt. Agencies are facing an increased set of challenges, increased cost, dealing with legacy technologies, and having to do this in an operating environment which is continuously getting more complex by the day. This requires new sets of capabilities and a user experience that isn't being delivered in today's environment. I always go back to 20 years ago. Anytime I had to travel, I used to walk outside and raise my hand to get a taxi cab. Well, rideshare apps have changed the way that we are able to move around a city. We're able to understand the data, having it in front of us. We're able to understand and have a better user experience, seeing who's going to be picking us up and taking us. That's the set of expectations we need to have for our HR platforms and the processes that we use to operate in today's environment. Both moving from a workforce that has moved outside of the walls of an agency through COVID, and it always pushes us to a remote operating environment, as well as having transparency and access to information to help us operate. This evolving technology that Workday provides is a platform that allows agencies to be able to have this type of functionality.
And Campbell, as a provider of those kind of resources, what are you seeing at large organizations in terms of their ability to really take advantage of enterprise resource planning and HR platforms?
Thanks, Webb. Yeah, what we really see is these legacy software solutions, that they don't solve the challenges organizations face today. They include a new hybrid workforce, obviously a lot more remote work, gigs, or even flexible working hours. They don't address talent acquisition or even developing that talent through, structured learning programs or retaining the challenges that talent faces every day. Trying to update these legacy applications as well and align with more modern business processes is really, really difficult. Made more frustrating given, a lack of modern APIs that could support extending the platform using, low code solutions and similar. And, when some of the updates do arrive, they're typically months late. They're complex in nature. They normally require a professional services group to kind of plan and execute their implementation. It results in hours of downtime. And at the end of the day, it's really incredibly expensive to the agencies operating these services.
Well, back to you, Ty. I know KPMG has been working with federal agencies for, I think, going on a century or more, and also partners with a lot of companies. Talk to me a little bit about your partnership arrangement with Workday and how that helps address some of these issues.
Yes, KPMG's partnered with Workday for over a decade. We're a Workday Rising Titanium partner, and we work alongside Workday across various industries with their package solutions and go-to-market efforts. KPMG is a premier provider of business and technology solutions across the federal government. We look at our partnership with Workday as a tremendous opportunity to help government agencies tackle and advance their HR capabilities in this changing workforce and environment that they're operating in. We work with our government partners each day to help them address all these challenges from constraints with data, how they're using information in analytics, how they're executing their processes. And we look as Workday as that technology platform that alongside of KPMG's knowledge and expertise within the government sectors provides the government agencies with real capabilities and ability to transform their need for just modern HR technologies and integrate those things with a lot of the technology that they have today, because agencies can't take a break from operating core processes within their environments just by doing a new technology implementation.
And Campbell, I'm curious your perspective. Workday's, a fast-growing organization. How does working with KPMG and its arrangements with federal agencies kind of advancing the solution set for federal agencies?
Yeah, it's been great to work with KPMG and get that valuable insight with their experience. We really, we wanted to select a partner who has a deep understanding of public sector, that understands the operating environment, has relationships, and also the culture within those various agencies. That was incredibly important to us. But, we also wanted a partner who shared Workday's own core values, who understands employees, and that they make companies successful, that, empathy is paramount, and that we can continue to innovate together and act with integrity while still having fun. And that's why KPMG is a perfect partner for Workday.
Well, Campbell, I'm also curious, since you work with a lot of enterprises, how has the need to accommodate the new requirements, I'll call it, of managing a hybrid workforce impacted what enterprise leaders need to think about when modernizing their ERP and HR systems?
Yeah, hybrid workers really desire more flexibility in terms of where they work, the times they work, or even how they access services. You need a set of services that can be updated quickly to address changing business needs or processes. And I think a classic example is really just what we saw with COVID and recording vaccination statuses, where we needed to quickly extend our applications to kind of, record that new data point for all our employees. But you also need, a fully featured mobile application for these hybrid workers that really provides a consumer experience. It's really important for remote employees to perform the majority of their activities every day, whether it's entering a timesheet, viewing pay stubs, or even entering expenses or vacation details, or performing approvals. And, it needs to be modern. We need to eliminate mundane activities like expense reports. We need to use ML and OCR to scan receipts automatically and populate those expense lines. But your service also needs to be highly available for the hybrid worker. You need to be able to deploy those updates quickly, whether they're application updates, performance updates, or even security updates. That needs to happen on a regular basis with little disruption and very little downtime. Given remote workers, hybrid workers could be online anytime, day or night.
And Ty, how have you seen the hybrid workforce altering your organization's approach to helping federal agencies?
Yeah, I think Campbell did a great job of highlighting what this new challenge has been. KPMG has taken this need and created an incredible asset that we call Powered Enterprise, which takes leading class requirements and processes that exist across the HR lifecycle and developed a series of process flows and blueprints that our clients can utilize to accelerate their HR journey. These processes are based on and adapted to an agency's needs, policies, and their environment. But what we found is that when you're putting these process flows and blueprints in front of our clients, it's a huge differentiator rather than coming in and saying, what are your requirements, or tell me about your business challenges. At KPMG, we take great pride in coming into our meetings with our government partners informed with information that they need to be looking at and working towards the outcomes that they desire.
And I'd love to hear examples from both of you. Ideally, Ty, maybe you first, about how working with KPMG and Workday, particularly using cloud-based technologies, have really helped federal agencies. Can you share any actual practical examples of where agencies have made real progress in their human resource planning?
Yeah, I'll give an example at a major healthcare services provider, which went into their journey with three major objectives for their HR transformation. It was to simplify, it was to ensure transparency, and it was ultimately to drive efficiency. They selected Workday based on Workday's analytics capabilities, the super simple user interface that we discussed earlier, and the rapid implementation that could be deployed into their environment. And they selected KPMG based on our industry knowledge and expertise, our skills within human resources, and our successful track record of implementing Workday technology coupled with our powered enterprise approach to accelerate this transformation. This resulted in our client now operating a much more strategic environment for supporting their HR processes, truly embracing and using the cloud to accelerate new functionality that they need and achieve the employee and customer needs that they had.
And Campbell, any additional examples you'd offer?
Yeah, one I really like, and I kind of use it daily myself, is this idea of a skills cloud where you can obtain a 360-degree view of skills across your workforce, but also the industry at large and how they're related. And this allows you to quickly identify like skills gaps in light of maybe some of your future business goals or imperatives that you need to execute on. And you can then take these gaps and you can really shape your talent acquisition strategy. And this is where ML really plays an important role in identifying those gaps and really recommending, which locations maybe you should target for recruiting new talent with the skills you need, or even, what type of comp packages to offer those individuals. So Skills Cloud really plays an important role. It also shapes, talent development once you actually have onboarded a new employee. It enables you to develop guided learning programs, providing necessary upskilling opportunities for the employee. And that really helps with internal mobility and ultimately, higher levels of employee retention, which is critically important. So with the ability to rapidly fill these roles with these skills capabilities and connecting existing employees with the right learning and career opportunities, companies do become more agile. And they can really, more easily adapt to some of the changing challenges we see today.
That's some great observations. Lastly, I think you agree that one of the things that's interesting about the federal government space is the Office of Personnel Management's annual Federal Employment Viewpoint Survey, which really does a deep dive into employee satisfaction across agencies at multiple levels. I'd be interested to hear, as you look ahead and in light of some of those findings, what should agency CXOs be thinking about as they try to modernize their workforces, not just their ERP systems?
Yeah, there's really a couple of things. I think first and foremost, you want to pick a SaaS service that employs a modern platform that can quickly adapt to the changing nature of business. That's really critically important. Incorporating these new business processes, integrating a new payroll or benefits system seamlessly, creating new reports, and even extending the platform with new capabilities to support, those hybrid workers we talked about earlier. But you also talked a little bit about sentiment, and that's something that you always want to have within your platform as well. And it's not something you should be doing, annually. It's something you really need to do on an ongoing basis every week. So you really understand the employees that make up your agency, your company, and how they're feeling or what they need. So that's a critical capability of any new modern platform. But you also need a service that can grow with your business, whether it's only a few employees or to millions of employees. That uses the same code base, the same setup, and avoids expensive reimplementations as you grow.
Great points. Ty, your last thoughts on that?
Yeah, I just start by saying federal employees are deeply motivated by their commitment to public service. And in order to operate in today's environment where you have the various needs of transparency around a variety of different diversity, equity, inclusion requirements, around just their need to be able to operate in a remote environment. They've got to have a user experience and a platform that gives them the transparency and the tools that allow them to be able to operate. They also need to have confidence that when they're implementing this technology, it's going to work alongside of their other systems and processes and in the environment that they've been operating on, so that there's not a setback in terms of capabilities that they had. Workday, along with KPMG, allows them to be able to have a platform and a provider that can implement these processes and functionality that gives them this modern cutting SaaS technology that allows them to operate in an ever-evolving workforce.
Well, Ty, Enmark, and Campbell, Webb, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your respective insights on advances in enterprise resource planning systems and how that can actually help federal agencies modernize not only their systems, but their workforces. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
That's why.